I even brought Energize.
We're preparing. Okay, so welcome to What It Takes. My name is Mary. I work on the coach development team here at Team Beachbody. What It Takes is a mini series where we ask the same questions to elite coaches and they talk about what it takes to become an elite coach. Today, we are talking with a superstar diamond coach, 6-time elite, CAB member, CEO award winner, and has been in Success Club for 72 months. And she is the founder of Team Rockstar Fit, Miss Trina Gray. Welcome.
Mary.
Love it. So glad you're here with us today.
Oh, I was excited to join you.
So just before we get started, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am originally from Madison, Wisconsin, and went to the university there to get a degree in journalism. Really wanted to be on 60 Minutes. I wanted to be a famous journalist. And then I met a guy, got married, moved to Michigan, and had to start all over. I'm in a super small town in northern Michigan called Alpena. So we are right on the shores of Lake Huron. It's a beautiful small town, about 12,000 people. But my dreams of being like a world-renowned journalist were probably not going to come true in Alpena. So instead, I got into fitness. I was teaching group fitness classes. And over time, I ended up actually opening my own health clubs to help share group fitness and fitness in my small community here in Alpena. So I'm a wife. My husband, Jeff, is a shipwreck archaeologist. I have 2 kids. They're 13 and 15. I've been a Beachbody coach for 10 years, and I've been an entrepreneur and business owner for 12 years. So my life has been full. It has been busy. I hope I specifically speak to coaches on the line today who are trying to balance and juggle being a spouse, being a parent, having another job. I still have another job, Mary, even though financially my husband and I don't need other jobs. He still works full time for the government. I still work in my clubs and I coach because I love it. And I want to show people that it's possible to not have to sacrifice everything else in your world to make this coaching thing happen. And you don't have to be running from something. You don't have to hate what you're currently doing to want to be a successful coach. So that's what I do. That's who I am.
I love it. Oh my gosh. And a shipwreck archaeologist. # most interesting job in the world.
I know. See, we could do a whole Zoom just on that. He always steals the thunder when I bring him to.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, so we have 200 historic shipwrecks right outside in the waters of Lake Huron, and he is the superintendent of this national park. So, I never got into this wanting to retire my husband, although I completely understand other people who do. But my husband loves what he does, and he's super supportive of what I do. We see this as a family business, and he definitely contributes to this business of Beachbody while pursuing his own dreams.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So we'll get into the questions. How were you introduced to Beachbody?
Yeah, I love revisiting this topic, and I just got to see my sponsor and friend Janelle Summers at Leadership. We just had lunch. She took her coaches who were at Leadership to lunch, which was so nice. And it was actually just a great reminder of why I said yes. I said yes because Janelle picked up the phone and called me, and all she said was, "Hey, I thought of you. I know you really like fitness. I taught Turbo Kick. I know you love fitness. Beachbody's opening its doors to people like me and you to be a part of the company. It sounds exciting to me. I don't know everything about it, but would you want to do it with me?" Mary, that's it, right? So why did I say yes, right? There's a lot more to that, but why did I say yes? She kept it simple and non-intimidating. It wasn't an overwhelming decision. I didn't feel like I was signing my name in blood or giving away my firstborn. Somebody I liked and trusted. We had a similar background as women who loved group fitness and loved teaching classes. And we both had little kids about the same age. So we had enough in common that if she was doing it, that sounded like a great idea for me too. I didn't say yes because I knew everything about it. I didn't say yes because she complicated it. And I didn't say yes because I wanted to leave a job or I was looking for some massive solution in my life. I was joining to do something fun with a friend who seemed excited and enthusiastic.
That excitement can go a long way. And I love that you said, I didn't join because I knew everything. You're teachable, you're coachable, and that's an important attribute to have, which also brings me into one of our later questions. So we'll hold off on that.
Okay.
Once you signed up, can you describe what those early days looked like?
Yeah. So Mary, this one's a little deeper question, and people who've heard me speak at Super Saturdays or maybe on a National Wake Up Call have heard pieces of this. So I'll make it quick and easy, but I really want to share it for the coaches who haven't heard it or need to hear it again, that, yeah, I'm super proud of being a successful coach now, right? So the accolades are exciting, but let me just make it clear, like, what it's done for my life. So then you understand my beginning better. I've been in the Million Club for many, many years. I've been a Superstar Diamond, maintaining rank for many, many years. My husband and I have been debt-free since I was 40 and I'm 43. We have joy and happiness and live a life of gratitude and plentiful, lots of things in our life. And it took a lot to get there, but I did not start that way. I did not start that way. When Janelle asked me, she was excited. So therefore I adopted her enthusiasm. So immediately after I signed up, I went and invited a ton of people because I just mimicked what she had done with me. She encouraged me to go invite people. She told me from the beginning that the business is built on a team. And I remember her comments were, you can only help so many people with retail. So we want to be able to connect people to programs, but we'll help a lot more people by building a team. That simple concept made sense to me. So I went and invited lots of different people in my current life. I invited moms in my community who took group fitness classes. So I knew they already liked fitness. I invited moms in my community who taught group fitness. I invited high school friends. In fact, I found an email I sent out to high school friends 10 years ago. I invited college friends. I invited my sisters-in-law. I invited my sisters. I invited like family members, cousins, just people in my community, people who I worked with. So I went to what we love to call warm market, which is so weird. Warm market just means, like, to me, like, I invited my friends and family, and I invited them with the same enthusiasm she invited me. I said, I'm getting involved with this company. I've done a couple of their workouts and I love them. I love that they're opening their doors to people like us. Why don't you do this with me? And so I made it easy, I believe, for people to say yes. And I don't remember the length of time, but I do know I got the diamond very quickly. Janella had some contest back then about who could sign up the most coaches in a couple of weeks. I know that we don't always do all those things anymore, but it for me, it was like, gave me the initiative to go invite and sign people up. So that was the good. When I wasn't overthinking, when I was leading with joy and enthusiasm, everything was good. Well, what happened? I got in my own head. I started to question whether being involved in network marketing or direct sales was really for me. I went to a company event and wasn't sure I fit in. Some people know I flew home from Summit after 24 hours. I had chosen to make myself an outsider and feel like maybe I don't fit in at those parties. Maybe I don't fit in at a clamoring workout where everyone's trying to get up to the front of the stage. It just wasn't me. So I chose to kind of make myself an outsider. I started comparing to what other coaches were doing, the kind of pictures they were posting on social media, the kinds of ways they were inviting outside, of course, of the team that I was on. Janelle did a great job leading me. But then once you get involved in the world of Beachbody, you look around at everybody. And I didn't like all the comparisons, and I didn't feel like I was going to do it the same way everybody else was. To be honest, I already loved fitness, and I liked Beachbody workouts, but they weren't going to become my whole life. I like the idea of hybriding workouts in with what I already enjoyed. I enjoyed the idea of being an advocate for health and wellness and not a billboard for Beachbody. And so I struggled. So 6 months into the business, I had a negative paycheck of $3.74. I had somebody return a box of P90X bars. I had no commissions, no team cycle bonus that week, negative paycheck 6 months in. A year into the business, I found myself halfway in. Like, I had built the team. I was kind of helping people. I was kind of telling people about it. 1 foot in feels crappy. 1 foot in is the worst. All right. 1 foot in was $100 a week. Not impactful enough for me to shoulder that burden every day. Not enough money for me to actually want to continue to do this. 2 years in, having gone all in, built a team, developed leaders, got myself to around 5-star. 2 years in, I was at $1,000 a week. So I went from negative $374 to $100 a week to $1,000 a week. And I know Beachbody does not guarantee any income. I had to earn what I was hustling. 6 months in, I wasn't hustling. A year in, I was hustling with one arm. 2 years in, I was hustling with my whole heart. And therefore I got to where I was then. I never dropped below that $1,000 a week. And of course, since then have been able to multiply that.
That's incredible. That's so inspiring to me that you could do that and be all in and see the difference so clearly. That's incredible. Thank you. What do you feel are some attributes or habits that you have that have contributed to your success?
Well, the first thing that came to mind, the first thing I jotted down when you sent me the questions, I printed them out and I without overthinking it, by the way, just chicken scratch my answers, because I just want to share from like my gut what's worked. I've gotten here. Don't overthink it. What's worked, right? So the first thing I wrote down, Mary, was swim in a sea of personal development. Now, I know we hear this a lot, and it's, of course, one of our vital behaviors, but I can't overstate it. Here's the deal. This business is hard. It's easy not to do it. It's easy to take it personally. It is easy to have your heart broken. It is easy to feel hurt when people leave your team or say no. The only thing that will get you through building a team and building leaders is personal development. There's no way I would be here today if I didn't literally absorb myself with positive messages and books and audios and podcasts, because they give me armor. That's how I see personal development. Like it's a suit of armor I'm putting over myself. So when somebody leaves the team, or when somebody criticizes my leadership, or when somebody thinks they need more from me, or when I feel like I'm not enough for somebody, or when somebody says no, I've got this armor. And I truly believe in myself. And I truly believe in my team. And I do believe in Beachbody. But it took me absorbing personal development beyond what I ever thought I needed, beyond what I ever thought was required. I don't read personal development to check it off a box, and I don't read it to say I did that vital. I do it to survive being an entrepreneur and a coach. Okay, so that's the first one. And I hope I explained why. Something else I feel like I do, which maybe this is a little esoteric or out there and people aren't going to think of this, but something else I always do is I'm always dreaming of what's next. So coaches, to do this business well, I believe my recommendation is that you have two different whys. You have a why internal, like what does it do for you to have a successful business? And then a why of who do you want to help? Now, a lot of us focus on the second one, who do you want to help? I like to help women who love fitness earn an extra income and be a part of a tribe they belong to. Right? My why is definitely built around helping other women join my team, get fit, be surrounded by healthy, happy women. Okay, that's my why. That's who I want to help. All right, well, I could do that next week. Well, I could do that when it's more convenient. I can do that next month. I better have a burning internal why of what is it doing for me? And I think that that's not selfish to think about. And it might be something intangible. It might be something tangible. For me at the beginning, Mary, I remember one of my first whys when I was listening to a call that Christine Dwyer was doing on a Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern time. I listened to one of her calls and I thought, why am I getting on this call right now? I am tired. I worked 9 hours in my other job that day. I came home to 2 little kids. Why am I getting on a call at 10 o'clock at night? Because I needed a new vehicle. That was my first thing. Like my vehicle didn't have air conditioning. We lived in Michigan and in the summer it's hot, and had cloth seats and I was hot. And I was like, I need to earn enough money to buy a new car. My next why was my father-in-law had passed away suddenly, and my husband and I wanted to take my mother-in-law on a trip to Hawaii. Well, I needed to be able to pay for that trip for us to do it. So my whys really did connect to my personal family life, what income could do for me. And because I was willing to focus on what income could do for me, I was willing to build a business with income, right? I've never been afraid to say like wellness should pay. Wellness should pay as much as acute care, as much as the medical industry. Like we should get paid well to be coaches because we're changing lives. And I've embraced that and I don't mind talking about that. So I think that I'm always dreaming about what's next. I'm not afraid to embrace the compensation plan. I'm not afraid to talk about the income. I do believe we do good things for people and we should get paid for it. The last thing I'd say for this one, Mary, is what habits do I have is I show up no matter what. And I want to put this into perspective. I go live the first Thursday of every month, no matter what. So this week it happened to be live at leadership, sitting on the pool deck, right? I do a Q&A for my team every single week, whether I'm in an airport or at my mom's kitchen table or driving to my kid's game or I'm at home. I do an action hour every week. I do small inconvenient things all of the time to live a life of convenience. That's the things that I feel like I do well. Team-wise, and maybe we'll dig into this with a later question, what habits do I have that help me be successful? I've completely bought into the belief that my team is not just my PS, but deep in my downline. And I dig in my downline. I have deep relationships with people no matter what level they are in my organization. I often don't even know who they're sponsored by, but I get to know the team. People who want to show up, I will notice them. You don't have to be my PS or have hit a certain rank for me to notice you. So I feel like I've done well digging in the downline and building real valid relationships.
I love that. My favorite thing that you said was, I do inconvenient things to live a convenient life.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely incredible. And it like hit the nail on the head. It brings things into perspective so much. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for a brand new coach who doesn't know where to start? What can they start doing today to achieve long-term success? And you've kind of already touched on this a little bit.
Well, one thing I did today, actually, that people could do right now, I should pull it up on my phone and show you. This is it. You have to just pull out a sheet of paper and just simply write down, without overthinking it, what are 3 things that being a coach or being a part of this team or company, 3 things this has done for your life. Okay. If you know those 3 things, then that's your story and that's what you share, and you offer that to others. So for example, I had a group of coaches on my team, Mary, ask me to help women in their 40s and 50s. So I'm in my 40s. They wanted help for women in their 40s and 50s to get over the hump of inviting. They said, we see a lot of top coaches or a lot of successful coaches are brand new moms and, young women in their 20s and maybe just putting out a different image. And they're like, how do you help women in their 40s and 50s grow this business? I was like, well, what has it done for you in your 40s and 50s? I asked that question on my team page today, and it blew up with answers, like literally blew up. There's probably 20 responses in 20 minutes. So this is what I heard from women in their 40s and 50s, right? So you could ask the same question of women in their 20s. 40s and 50s, people are like, I have come to a place in my personal development that I don't care what the rest of the world thinks of me. I just want to be my best me. I want to surround myself with other non-catty women. That's what I found on this team. I'm in my 40s and 50s and I'm doing good enough with my health and fitness that I can put my jeans on and feel good. I'm not trying to be a bikini model. I'm not trying to be an Instagram model. I literally just want to put jeans on and go about my life and feel good. I want to be able to pay for money. I want to earn extra money to take my family on real vacations and help pay for their college. Like those are things that's done for me. So those are the things I talk about. So I will attract other women who want that. I'm not talking about what women in their early 20s or having babies are talking about. I'm not looking for an adult conversation because I'm home with little babies all day. That's not me. So I'm not talking about that. So for people wondering where to start, you start with you. What has this done for you? Have you met friends? Have you been able to travel? Have you paid a credit card bill? Have you paid for organic groceries? Have you met new friends? Have you gotten in better shape? What has it done for you? Simply go offer that to other people in a simple, simple way. What has it done for you? Go tell other people, I've gotten in great shape. Do you want to get in great shape? I paid for my kid's birthday party on my own. Do you want to get to do that? That's it.
Perfect. So simple and such a aha. That's great. Yeah. What is the best advice someone has given you regarding your business?
Okay. I'm going to combine a couple answers here for this one. All right. Simple answer is at the very beginning of the business, I was told to read the compensation plan and just understand the business. So from the very beginning, I read the entire compensation plan. I printed out the different ranks. I understood the team cycle bonuses, which now kind of seems foreign. I don't see a lot of coaches do that anymore, but you opened a business. And so you should know what it costs and how you earn your money back and how you earn, right? So my husband and I had the comp plan printed out. We had the ranks up on our board. We knew what kind of volume we needed. We understood that we opened a business. And although this business only costs $16 a month and it can be really easy to ignore, you can also really embrace it. Okay, so that's a simple thing. I would also say that stop being, this is a phrase I got from Darren Hardy, author of The Compound Effect, stop being an ask hole. Stop being an asshole. Here's the deal. When I became a parent, I did not ask every one of my friends how to do bath time, how to do bedtime, what books did they read, what diapers were they using. I didn't ask everyone how they were disciplining, how they were rewarding. I didn't ask everybody what church they were taking their kid to, or if they were. I didn't ask everybody what their table manners were. I looked up enough to see some people I admired and picked up some habits from them. And then my husband and I just figured it out. So I would urge, encourage, call to action other coaches out there to just realize that you have figured out how to get through high school. You figured out how to get yourself through college. You figured out how to make a relationship work. You figured out how to raise children. This is not any harder. We make it harder by asking 2,000 questions, then getting conflicting advice and being paralyzed. Can I give you some example of some conflicting advice you can get when you ask too many questions?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, coaches listening, I admire and I applaud all coaches in this network for finding his or her own way. There is not a right way or wrong way. In fact, the only wrong way is to do nothing at all with this opportunity. So whether you enroll 10 coaches, 50, 100 a month, I don't care. Do you, right? Do you. But here's the problem when you take coaches' advice, top coaches, other coaches' advice as like the truth or the law. It's not. So I've heard many people say like you have to do every program start to finish. You have to get behind every launch. So is that a good suggestion for some people? It is. Do I feel like that's what I had to do? It's not. Why? Because I've seen coaches on my team build their entire business around one thing they love. They love the 21-day fix. I had a coach get to 5-star elite with the 21-day fix because she built a tribe of women around a program or product that spoke to her and she got really good at it. Wash, rinse, repeat. This was Rachel Doyle. She taught her other teammates how to use this program, how to understand the food plan, how to coach it, what kind of women might want to get in shape for their wedding or take off baby weight. She built an entire business around this. I have a coach right now, Darla, who's building her business around 2B mindset because it's changed her body, changed her view of food, changed her view of herself. And I'm encouraging her to put her blinders on and go in with it. My coach, Nikki Kerrigan, loved the 80-day obsession. It was like meant for her DNA. So to say that everyone has to do every program start to finish and every launch, in my mind, is saying that we're supposed to be everything to everybody versus be willing to be a boutique. Coaches, be willing to be a boutique. Be willing to say, there's 100 different options in the world of Beachbody. These are a couple that I love, that I've gotten to know, that I've gotten intimate with, that I really understand how to coach, and I'm going to go all in with them. So I'm suggesting that I help create like custom business plans for all of my coaches to figure out what program or product speaks to you. What about being a coach speaks to you? You've got to invite to the team and you got to find a couple programs or products you can get behind. That's my philosophy behind it. I would be overwhelmed personally if my entire marketing schedule for my year, this is just me personally, all right, was built around Beachbody's calendar because I own this business. And as coaches, we're independent coaches. We get to pick and choose what Beachbody's putting out, and they're always putting out great stuff. We get to pick and choose what resonates with us and our audience. Get behind it, go all in with it, and don't be afraid to wash, rinse, and repeat. Too much advice is conflicting. Too much advice is confusing. Figure out what worked for you as a parent and do it again. Figure out what works for you as a coach and do it again.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Drop the mic, girl. Drop the mic.
Okay, cool.
Be willing to be a boutique. I love that because we really do have something for everybody for sure.
Yes.
Now we're going to move on to the speed round, which is always super fun. So question number one.
Question. Can I just ask you a quick question?
Absolutely.
Do you want to talk about the coach struggling or not? The coach struggling.
Did I skip one?
Yeah, and it's fine, but I want to, if you want to address it.
No, we'll go back.
Struggling or giving up?
Yes. Okay. So then I'll ask you this question. We'll go back one. What about the coach who is struggling or who is thinking about giving up? What advice do you have for them? And thank you so much for calling me on that. I totally scrolled right by it. So yes, this is one of the most important questions.
Oh, no. And this is like a team effort doing this interview today. So I just wanted to address that one because it's a real one.
Yes.
So I mentioned it earlier that I'd come back to it. So here's the advice for a coach who's thinking about giving up. I said this on stage at Super Saturday in Minneapolis, and I heard from a lot of people about it. Because sometimes in life, you got to be willing to just say the thing that is going to make somebody think even if it's uncomfortable. So what I said on stage at Super Saturday was, if you're thinking about giving up, decide to be 2 feet in or quit, because 1 foot in feels conflicting. I've been there. It feels torturous. 1 foot in feels like you're never enough. You're never doing enough. It's hanging over your head. It's a monkey on your back. You feel conflicted 1 foot in. Think about this. Think of a relationship, a friendship you have that you're 1 foot in on. Like, oh, you don't really want to take the call, or you know you should go for the girls' night out, but you don't really want to see that person, or this person, it kind of brings you down sometimes. And if you're 1 foot in a friendship, you're not into it, right? So think about this decision. Think about if you wanted to get a puppy. All right. Would you be 1 foot in to buy a puppy when you know that puppy is going to turn into a dog? It's going to be in your life for 10 to 12 to 15 years. You can't kind of want a puppy because you can't kind of want to get up all night to let the dog out. You can't kind of want to train it. You can't kind of want to have somebody watch it when you're gone. You got to either decide, I want this puppy and I'm willing to give it a decade of my life. Coaches, think about this business as a puppy. Decide that you want it for a decade of your life. Decide that you're willing to be inconvenienced because the relationship, the friendship, the joy is so immense. When I decided to be 2 feet in, it did not mean 2 feet in to me does not mean all hours in. It does not mean it's the only thing I did. It's that I did it with full conviction. So whatever hours I had available at that time in my life, I was fully convicted believer in Beachbody, in the company, in the leaders, in the mission, in the products. That's what I mean by 2 feet in. It's 2 feet in with your conviction with whatever hours you have. So coaches, decide, can you today say like, amen, 2 feet in, why not me? I'm going into this for a decade because the relationships, the joy that it brings my life, she told me, are going to be amazing.
Amen. I love that. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. And Jeff Hill talked to a team here once, and he said, even if you just have an hour to give it or half an hour of Beachbody time, make that Beachbody time, make that like you're all in for that 30 minutes or hour or whatever it is. Make sure that that is what you're doing, period. Nothing else.
Exactly.
So exactly.
People to work their business like they're doing P90X or like they're doing T25. Like you don't kind of do T25, you get your butt kicked for 25 minutes and you get great results. Go into your business and like do T25 for a 25-minute power hour in your business and you will move mountains.
Absolutely. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Okay. Now we're allowed to go to the speed round. I got all the questions. Okay, perfect. So on average, how much time do you spend working on your business per day?
Cool. So I answered this in 2 ways: when I was first building it and what it looks like now, because we have people kind of at all different levels here listening. When I was first building it, it was a couple hours a day and it was at night. So after my kids went to bed, from usually 9 to 11 at night when I was building it. When I got into the 5-star and above, where I was like grinding, Mary, and I don't want to lie to people and say like I didn't grind. Some people don't like that word. It's legit. I didn't sacrifice my marriage. I didn't sacrifice my kids. I didn't sacrifice my health, right? But I did sacrifice girls' nights out. I sacrificed some sleep. I sacrificed time. I remember one day being at the ski resort with my family and I needed the afternoon to work on a project for my team. And so I came in from the ski hill while they stayed skiing. I remember thinking, this is a sacrifice I'm making to build this business. So at the beginning, it was 2 hours. As I started grinding, I got up to probably 5 hours a day while working full time with kids, right? And then more on the weekends. These days, I would say that I always want to keep my foot on the gas in my business. I'm always still growing. I'm always still leading. I can be at a comfortable 4 to 5 hours a day right now. If I'm prepping for a retreat or I'm prepping for a team event, I'll easily put in like 10 hours on a weekend, or I'll come up and shut myself in my office on an entire Sunday and tell my family I'm kind of off the grid today. So sometimes I go in spurts of like, I'll do a 12-hour Sunday and then I'll kind of take some time off. But I'd say on average between my other job and my kids and travel and other commitments we have with their sports, I put in a consistent 4 to 5 hours a day. Perfect.
Okay. What is your average SC each month?
So this is a great topic and one that I think is so worth talking about. My husband emailed me this morning. It's so funny. I told you he's super supportive of the business. He emails me once a week and tells me how the business is looking, how our ranks are looking, how our coaches are doing, who's getting ready to advance. He kind of looks at the numbers of the business for me. And he sent me an email this morning. He said, Trina, congratulations. You have officially achieved 72 months in Success Club. And then when I got back from taking my kids to school, I was walking in the door and he came and gave me a hug and he said, I'm so proud of you. You show up. 72 months in Success Club. Rain, shine, illness, family issues, all kinds of things in my life, you guys. I've never not hit Success Club. However, I am not a big number Success Club person. I will show up and I will get it, but I'm never going to be a huge number person for different reasons. Here's mine. I'm going to hit Success Club between 5 and 18, 5 and 20, right? Like if you looked at my past year, I'd say I averaged 12, right? What does that mean to me? That means I'm bringing in several new coaches a month, which is where my energy goes to. And that means that I have created room in my life and in my schedule for these 2 or 3 new people to join my world, a couple new challengers, a couple new coaches. I determine how many people I want to bring in based on what I want my lifestyle to be. When I brought in my coach, Colleen, I didn't just bring in her. She signed up Natalie, and I work with both of them. When I brought on Amanda, I didn't just bring on Amanda. Amanda brought in Eric and Marlo. I'm working with all 3 of them. So sometimes when I look at, I only bring on 2 or 3 coaches a month. No, I really bringing on 20 to 30 a month because I'm helping those people bring on coaches, and A people know other A people. So I don't have to recruit everyone myself to be able to coach them. So I want to look for people. I'm going to help them sign up people, and I'm going to kind of treat them all like my own at the beginning. That's just been my philosophy. But I also think, Mary, it comes from, I was a business owner before I was in direct sales. So although I understand the philosophy in direct sales to recruit as many as you can, and the cream will rise at the top and you'll get enough people to do something. But when I came into it as a business owner, my gut instinct to me personally was that I wouldn't hire 30 people to work in my business and hope that 3 work out. Now, I know everyone wants more than that, wants more than 3 people to work out. But the idea is that I would rather bring on 2 or 3, 4 people and get all of them to work out, or 80% of them to work out, right? I also knew that that's what I had room in my life for. So again, being willing to kind of put blinders on and know that you cannot grow the business without adding to the team. I have never had a month of 0. And I think that's as important. I've never had a month of 100. I've never had a month of 0. I'm always adding to the team, but I look at one person as 10 and I dig into that person. So Success Club, 10-ish to 12-ish, and a couple new coaches and a couple new customers every month has worked for me over the length of 10 years.
That's such a good point. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because you did say earlier that you dug deep into your downline, and that just goes to show you it's such a good way to look at it, because that one person really does have several and you're working with all of them. And that helps to make a very stable business. Makes so much sense. What percentage of time do you focus on your own business versus your team?
Okay, so here's another one that I get my answer is radically different than other top coaches and elite coaches, and I respect everyone, and you got to do you. But here's my answer. I have to do what feels good to me that doesn't keep me in like a little comfort zone of just managing people and making graphics. But I would say that I truly enjoy leading a team as much as I enjoy continuing to grow my own business. And so I remember being at a new leaders conference or something once that I think I was speaking at it, and I heard another panelist say, which is great, that she spends 80% of her time on her business and 20% on her team. And I thought, I'm like, I must have heard that wrong, because I'd be almost exactly the opposite. And I've gotten here too. So here's the deal. It's like this 0 concept. You can't spend 100% of your time on your team, or you'll never grow your own business. But I also am not convinced that you need to spend 80% of your time on your own business and 20% on your team, when your team are the people who already said yes. Your team are the people who can have the ability to bring on other people, so you don't have to bring on everybody. So when I really honestly looked at it this morning, looked at my calendar from last week and this week, like what did I do with my time? I'd say I spent 60% on my team. This was me doing Q&As, getting started right appointments for me and for their coaches. This was me doing Facebook Lives for my team. This was me putting out a Diamond Daily accountability post for my team every day for 30 days. I did a book club for my team. I'm organizing a leadership retreat in 3 weeks for my team. I do a lot for the team. Team Extra Fit, I love you, and I hope you feel that. 40% of the time in my business has been on attracting and inviting my own people, running my own monthly challenge group, which I have for years and years and years and years and years. I still run challenge groups. So 40% is running my own group, inviting to my own business, doing my own social media, and doing my own follow-ups. So it might be skewed a lot, more team than the average coach at my level or elite, but it works for me. It makes me happy. I see production from it. It's not busy work to me. And so I'm going to continue to do what I like.
As you should. And it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right.
Right.
Awesome. Okay. Now I'm scared that I'm going to miss a question. How many coaches do you enroll each month?
I covered that with Success Club. I'd say that if I have 10 to 12 Success Club points, I have about 2 to 4 new coaches and a couple new customers.
Perfect. Okay. So now is the funnest part of the call. Have you seen this hat before?
Oh yes, I know. Like, what is she going to ask me?
A question that you hope that you get?
I've seen it. No, I literally don't care. I love surprises. I love being on the spot. It's fun.
Okay. Let's see. And Kevin gets mad when we pick 2 questions.
Oh.
So yeah, we can't make Kevin mad. What was your favorite TV show when you were growing up?
Oh, good question. People are going to think I'm such a nerd. So I can't pick 2 questions, but can I give 2 answers?
Totally. You can do whatever you want.
So listen, I'm not kidding when I said I wanted to be on 60 Minutes. I watch 60 Minutes every single Sunday night with my dad. So from elementary school on, I just loved the idea of helping people tell their stories, hearing people's stories. So literally nerdy 60 Minutes from elementary school on, one of my favorite shows. And then when I was allowed to watch it, I grew up in a pretty conservative household where they limited what we could watch and listen to. MTV was not allowed in my house growing up. Video games were not allowed in my house growing up. I would occasionally watch Santa Barbara, the soap opera, and Facts of Life, unless my dad got home and then we had to turn it off. So that is me. Santa Barbara, Facts of Life. I got into Days of Our Lives in college. It's a big waste of time. And 60 Minutes.
So that's something we have in common. I watched Days of Our Lives for a few years too.
Right. Eden was like every personality under the planet. I loved her and Cruz. I thought I was going to name my kids Eden and Cruz. And then anyway, so yeah.
Guilty pleasures, right?
Totally. I needed that outlet in college for sure. So yeah, that's a fun question. I don't watch much TV anymore. So I think back to that time and it was kind of fun to have a show that I like to watch.
Absolutely. Yes. So thank you so much for being with us today. I got so many notes. Just a couple things that stuck out to me. The comparison game is a killer. Don't be 1 foot in. That's exhausting and doesn't help anyone. PD is your armor. Personal development is a type of armor that you wear so that you can be less emotional when someone says no, or stronger when someone says no, or someone leaves your team. I loved that. And then do inconvenient things so that you can live a convenient life. Those are my favorite things. So thank you so much for spending time with us today. I appreciate you so much. And that the recording, of course, will be on the Beachbody Champions page if anybody wants to rewatch it. So thank you so much, Ms. Trina Gray.
Oh, thank you for asking me. It feels really good to be invited and to be talked to. So I hope that my words stuck out to somebody. And coaches, I always love hearing from you. So if you want to message me on Instagram or on Facebook, I promise I will write you back.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have such a good day.
Welcome. Bye.